Hi everyone, welcome to Tea at 3. Hope you're all good. Clara's cold, clearly, and needs tea to warm me up. My kettle's just boiled. It must be cold on the southwest. It's quite warm here. It's not too bad. Deepest sorry. Hope everyone's good. Put my milk in first. I want to see if it makes a difference. Milk in first. Not sure it does, but anyway. Hope we're all well. New week. We're getting there. Bit casual today, so that's all right. So today we're going to talk about time management, a bit more like classic time management today. We'll just see if we can get anyone else on board and sort the tea bag out. I've just gone tea today, just gone good old normal tea. That was what I wanted really. So anyway, I hope we're well. Short week this week, bank holiday week, so not too bad. Just a little bank holiday week. So not so many VE Day celebrations, I wouldn't think, but I hope we're all good. I've got a little question for you, actually, because I like to start the question, just tea-related questions. They're always quite good fun. So, like tea, I'm sure a lot of people know, but in the old days, tea was a very valuable asset. In fact, it was like locked away, tea, and it was all made out of leaves and everything. But so consequently, what people used to do was kind of powder it down a little bit with other stuff. So they used to add extra things into the tea to make it go further, and therefore they could make more money. So what I'd like you to do, if you want to pump it in the chat, that would be brilliant. Just pop in there what you think people used to add to tea to like bulk it out. And I mean, there's obvious things like other leaves. So we're not going for that, but there's some quite weird things that people used to put into tea to add it up, to bolster it up. So if you've got any ideas what people used to add to tea, and it's I hope Matt Croft's on today, because then he'll put something in really ridiculous and we can all work from that. Mind you, having looked at my answers, the more ridiculous they are, the better. So anything that you think people used to add into tea to kind of bulk it up, make it a bit better. So I've got dust as a suggestion. That reference to Little Britain, I don't know, that could be. We like a bit of dust. Like a bit of dust. So I've got a nice Subbuteo mug today, a bit of free advertising for Subbuteo. One of my favourite games when I was a kid. And also I've gone back to Jaffa Cakes. Managed to get 2 bags, 2 packets for just £1. I thought that was a bit of a bargain. I mean, they'll probably last me about a day as well, so that's pretty good. Anyway, that's not really good time management because it's 3:01. So keep putting your answers in. What do you think they added to tea to bolster it out? And I'll tell you the answers. I've got 3 or 4 things that they used to add in, so there's some quite weird things. So you don't Google it, just type them in. Anyway, we're going to talk about time management today. On episode 2, we spoke about how we could a bit more effectively work from home, which is great. And there was some like, if you like, more up-to-date time management tips. But today, what I thought I'd talk about, just go back to basics really with time management. And there's some key things that we think about with time management. The first one is what should I be doing? That's the first thing we all have to think about when we're managing our time. What should I be doing? And at the moment, in this kind of quite weird way that we're working, I think we can sometimes lose sight of what we're actually there to do. The second thing is kind of plan and prioritize how to get there. And the last thing is to kind of overcome some of the things that are going to stop us hitting those goals. So they're the kind of 3 areas really. And I'm just going to scrape the surface on these, to be honest. But the first thing I want to think about really is what am I actually meant to be doing? Now, quite simply, I'm sure some of you have got pen and paper, but you don't need to write this down particularly. I just want you to think about this. And the question I'm going to pose to you is, what are you paid to do? And I want you to try and capture that in just one short little sentence. So we don't want paragraphs of work, just one sentence. What am I paid to do? Nice and simple. So for me, that is the overall purpose of my job. Yeah, so that's what I'm after. Just capture it in one sentence, the overall purpose of my job. And I guess for me, the overall purpose of my job would be to deliver learning solutions to clients. That's kind of what I'm paid to do. So think about that for yourself. And then once you've got that, think about what are the key things that make up the overall purpose of your job. The key things. Most people have somewhere between about 4 and 8 You'll know these are key performance indicators, key result areas, something like that. But what are the key things that make up the purpose of your job? That's the kind of thing we're looking for. Yeah, what are the key things that make it up? So for me, that might be so now it's to deliver online tier 3 sessions, to deliver online training sessions, to develop some client relationships, those kind of things. So break it down into the key areas. And once we get that, that's the crux. On that bit, we're just going 80-20 rule, really. So we're not going every finite task, we're just going the key tasks. Now, that's the first thing. So you've got this clarity. If you want to be really brave, you can ask your boss what you're paid to do. That might not be a great thing to do at the moment, but that's one of the things that you can check, because sometimes if they've got like different priorities, they're putting you under pressure to do one thing when you should be trying to do another. Yeah. So the second thing is, what do you actually do? So what do you actually do? Where is your time focused? Now, at the moment, that's a real tricky one, because time sometimes feel a wee bit infinite. But where is your time going? What's happening? And this is the tricky bit of time management, really. We recommend that you record your time. So what you do during the day. I actually drink tea for 10 minutes on a Tuesday and Thursday. But where does your time go, and what happens? And record that down. Now, this isn't about timesheeting. I'm aware that if there's anybody watching from Hemsley Fraser, I'm aware we timesheet. But what I'm talking about is being very specific about how long things take you. This will help you plan and prioritize your day. Now, some people have done this before, and it can feel quite painful, quite hard to do, but it's absolutely key so as we understand where our time's going. I don't know, if I try and do something maybe on a Monday afternoon, it might take me 20 minutes longer than if I do it on a Tuesday morning. Is that because I work better on a Tuesday? Is that because the person I spoke to gives me information quickly? What is it? It'll also help you understand where you're getting distracted. If it's people, if it's the phone, if it's email. So you've got to be very, very critical and understand where your time goes, and make a note of that. I'd love it if you could do it like for every half hour. Just make a note, because it's for you. You can write down what you want, because it's your working document. That document will help you plan and prioritize your day. That's what we want to do. Planning and prioritizing are two slightly different things, but they're often merged together. So if I think about prioritize, because this is about how we get through the day. Now, what work do we do first? How are we prioritizing our work? And I'm sure some of you will have heard this before, but there's two key words. The first one is urgent, which I think everybody gets, which is driven by the clock, which you can see behind me. So we're driven by the clock. It's urgent. It's got to be done by 3 o'clock. It's got to be done by. It's got to be done by. Yep. So there's pressure on that. The other word, of course, is about important. How important is it? And this is about business criticality. How crucial is it to the business that the work gets done? So what you can have is something that's time driven, that is less crucial to the business, or you can have something that is crucial to the business that is less time driven. And that, I'm sure you will have seen, comes in that 4-box grid. Covey's 4-box grid, the urgent important matrix. Eisenhower's 4-box grid is sometimes known as. Box A is urgent and important, critical to the success of the business, and they're time driven. But not everything's a box A. Box B is a planned task, diary tasks, things I put in my diary, things that I should be doing. They're important, they need to be done, but maybe actually it's tomorrow or next Friday, something like that. So for me, T at 3 is an urgent, important task. Urgent, less urgent, but important task. So Tuesday, Thursday, we diarise it. Once I'm doing it, it becomes box A, but the planning makes it easier. Because it's in my diary, I know I have to prep and organise and do things for it. Whereas if somebody phoned me up at 10 to 3 and said you're live in 10 minutes, it's going to put me under more pressure. So I can plan, I can prioritise my prep around it and make sure I've got time so as we're good to go. So they're the 4 boxes. Now, box C is the tricky one. It's the things that are urgent, that are less important, but we sometimes elevate straight into box A. Phone rings, or we see an email come into our inbox. We open it and we get distracted and we move away. They're the dangerous ones. So just be aware, if you plan to do something, do it, because otherwise those C boxes, those urgent but less important, are going to spring up, go into box A, and then the things from box B are going to come across into box A as well. You're going to end up with a host of box A's working under pressure. So just be aware, if you make that kind of list, let's work with it. When you plan your day, think about the time of day, When do I work best? Quality tasks, quality time. It's a crucial part of time management. Quality tasks, quality time. So make sure we get those timings right. Try and allocate timings for the tasks you do. Really important. Kind of initially overestimate, double it. If you think it's going to take 30 minutes, put an hour in your diary. If you manage to do it in 45 minutes, you're 15 minutes up on the day. So there's various things that we can do to help us out. Make sure you leave time for yourself. And bizarrely, everybody wants more time. Now, at the moment, we've probably got a little bit more time, quite bizarrely. I work in London a lot of the time, and so that's my commute gone immediately. So that's like, if anybody's commuting about an hour a day, that's 2 hours a day. I'm aware some people will be out there homeschooling, things like that. That's going to take quite a bit of time out of your day. But, you've got 2 hours probably because you're not commuting. So you can create time in that respect. Importantly, give yourself some time. Sometimes it's right to sit down, have a cup of tea. And it's great that some of you can join me live and you can sit down, have a cup of tea and just do this and take your mind away from work. That's kind of important. Now, of course, the distractions do come in. And in this short session, I can't give you loads and loads of tips. There's little things, but with the phone, we can just put a good voicemail on. Let's make sure what we've got in our email, what we've got in our answer phone, helps the person trying to contact us. That's important. Don't just leave classic answer phone messages from the phone company. Make sure your message is personal on the phone, particularly in these times because people really want to know. So try and get your message personal for the person who's calling you. Second thing, emails. Now, with an email, and I'm sure we all get lots out there. I'm sure there's people topping 200 a day. But when you open an email, and this is a big tip, you've got to do one of 4 things with it. Now, there's only 4 things you have to do with an email. One of 4, and they all begin with D. So if anybody thinks they know what any of those Ds are, type them in. One of 4 things, put it in the chat, all begin with D, make it really easy. What do you think you have to do with an email? Anybody got any ideas? All begin with D, one of 4 things. And if you don't do any of these 4 things, you're wasting time. It's brilliant that one comes up first, delete it. But that is absolutely correct. Delete is one of the 4 things you do. Wow, Grace is a wee bit more aggressive there. She's destroying them. And delegate is another one. So we've got delegate it and delete it. What else? There's 2 more. Anybody got any ideas? 2 more things you should do with an email. Slightly concerned that the first one hasn't come up. The other 2 things, lovely, Sam. Thank you so much. You do it. So you open the email and you do it. Yeah. So you actually action the email there and then. Now the 4th one, and everybody's doing it. That's my first one. Okay. Thanks a lot, Grace. The last one is diarise it. So plan a time to do the email. So if you're not going to do it there and then, put it in your diary. Now, if you don't do one of those 4 things, that means you are going to open your email again. That is a time stealer. Yeah. Now, I reckon that even with the audience I've got, I believe that there's somebody out there who opens an email, reads it, and then marks it as unread. That's time wasted. Once you've opened it, do something with it. Do it, diarise it, delegate it, or delete it. Yeah, that's really crucial with your emails. That's the biggest time-saving tip I can give you. One other little tip with your Outlook is in time management, we're proactive or we're reactive. And we all know what it's better to be. It's better to be proactive. Most people here are on Outlook. Outlook has 2 main functions. It has that of calendar and it has that of emails. Which one of those is proactive? The calendar is the proactive part of Outlook. Which one do we see when we open Outlook? 90% of people probably see their emails. So even if you make a plan, Outlook is designed to almost damage you. So you can flop that. So as when you open Outlook, it comes straight to your calendar. If you've made a plan, make the attempt to stick to it. Try not to get distracted by all those other things that are going on. Right. Now, I could do an hour on time stealers and time management, but we're run out there at 15 minutes. So they're my 2 big tips on time stealers with your emails, the 4 Ds, and make sure you look at the calendar. Remember, personalize your answer phone message, and that shows you respect other people's time as well. Now, what did they used to put in tea bags? This is the crucial thing. Well, they used to put twigs. That's a bit like leaves. We probably got that. They used to put sawdust in, which is a bit scary. Then they used to put iron filings in. And the last one that slightly disturbs me is they used to put sheep dung in as well. So sheep dung used to go in the tea to just bolster it up. Maybe it gave it a bit more of a stronger flavour. Everybody have a great day. On Thursday, what I'm going to talk about is how to keep connected with clients during the lockdown and the COVID crisis. So how to stay in contact with clients, internal or external. What do we need to do to keep those relationships strong? Hope you can join me. Stay safe, and I will see you on Thursday. Take care.